Thank you, Mayor. As already has been said, a little bit about Earth Day. I have some pictures here of some of the sights and sounds. Of course, Earth Day, the festival really began with 1,000 welcome bags were given away just almost just very, very quickly. And so you can see some of the sites there. You can see some of our elected officials were involved, and so it's already been mentioned. But you can, and then finally, I guess it kind of leads into the next slide where we talk about kind of the April Earth Month events. And when you think about it, a lot of these were led by our Stormwater Division, but really the theme that goes through all of these events is really volunteers. Our city staff was involved with these in terms of these 3 cleanup events, the rain barrel pickup. We worked with ECAB. Of course, ECAB is a volunteer board appointed by the city council. We had the big event Park Blitz, and here again, that's students volunteering their time. And then what was been mentioned about a new educational game. But, these are all really great events, but they're really driven by our volunteers in the community. And really, we need to say thank you to them. Next, just a quick update on the Main Street Enhancement Project. This project is about 75% complete now. It's on schedule, on budget. But here again, as Mr. Adair was talking about today, or just a while ago, these improvements were, laid out, 85, 90, hundreds of years ago. And anytime you're working in those confined spaces and in those areas, there's always going to be little problems. But we've been able to successfully work through these problems with a partnership with our downtowners. And so, again, thanks to all of them working with us on those projects. Next, just a couple of items and some of our ADA compliant efforts that were underway. You have seen some of the work that's going on around town. We have 55 existing traffic signals that are being modified to be more ADA compliant. This is about $537,000, but it's being paid for by 100% of federal safety funds. And so we're making some great strides there. We're using some of the latest technologies, and it's going to be enhancements for mobility, sight, and our hearing impaired residents. Looks like this should be finished in May of 2018. And as I said, a little bit more about our ADA plan. We have our next open house on our transition plan. We briefed the City Council on this just a few weeks ago, but the next open house is going to be on May the 9th at the Norman Public Library from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we're encouraging our residents to turn out and to make comments. And of course, the comments can be focused about service levels and access to services, but it also could focus on city facilities, buildings, sidewalks, parks. So it's really that whole array of facilities and services that need to be addressed, in our community. This will also have, an addition to that, there'll be, as we lead up into this open house, there'll be ways to participate in an online survey. So if residents can't attend, they can access and make that input through a survey as well. So it just gives us another opportunity, another way to give our citizens an opportunity to participate in that process. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about the PACT initiative. This is an initiative that began really in 2014. It's really picked up a little speed since then, but really it's really an effort that's going on in the entire Oklahoma City metro. Chief Humphrey and some of the other chiefs in the area have really been involved with this and trying to improve, to continue our vision of improve positive relations with law enforcement and our citizens. So we're just one of the many communities that are working on that. Oklahoma City, Midwest City, the OU Health Science Center, Lawton Police, just to name a few, have been involved in this. And so what's happened is all these agencies have been coming together in a series of dialogues to think about what are some of the concrete activities we can take in order to improve police-community relations. And so our next slide has some of those that are on there. As you can see, some of the ones that we've identified and that we are trying to advocate and promote would be increased public education for parents about how to educate children to better communicate with the police. We're also looking at ways that we can do a better job in engaging our community on our social media outreach. This, frankly, was one of the pillars that was identified in President Obama's the 21st century policing. So we're trying to kind of rededicate ourselves to that and do a better job there. Obviously, Coffee with a Cop has been an ongoing program, and then also looking at a stronger police presence and engagement at all of our community events. And so that's just not happening by happenstance. We are trying to make just a more robust presence and have ourselves more available at community events. And then finally, some internal training issues with implementing the racial intelligence training and engagement. So those are some of the projects that we've picked up and that we're trying to advance as a part of the Metro-wide PACT initiative. So thank you, Mayor, for your time.